just being one-sided. Um, so yeah.
Let's see. How would you describe your band's sound?
Our sound. I would say I would say a lot of it's very uh, atmosphere. Like especially if you're just listening to some of the recordings and that sort of thing, it definitely just has like an atmosphere about it that I really feel is like a great quality. You know, I hear our sound and that kind of thing because quite interestingly enough, I'll never really get to hear what I sound like live, um, just because it sounds different to me than it would as a listener. Um, but when I hear recordings and that sort of thing, it definitely sounds like just an atmosphere. Everything kind of working together to, um, everything's kind of working together. It's not like several different parts, um, are doing their own thing. They all kind of have a purpose to hit one sort of point. So I kind of like the atmosphere sound. It definitely has just it's all like spacey atmosphere. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that though. Because I've done that before too. I'm like, what do I sound like? And then I hear it, it's completely different than what I hear when I'm singing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
and it's like,
Yeah.
that's what I sound like? Seriously?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, are there currently any projects you are working on?
Well, yeah. Right now, I've written I guess, about 45 songs in the past year and a half, and I'm I'm going through phases. I just finished recording phase one, which you'll hear of this project. I've got three phases. I've got phase one, phase two, and phase three. Um, and I just finished phase one, which all the music on, except for Butterflies, on our MySpace, like Ray of Light, Return to Dirt, can't remember what else I've got on there.
Best friend.
Best Friend, yeah, Best Friend. Those are all phase one songs. Butterflies is actually from a previous project. I did actually a number of years ago. I wrote some songs, and I don't know. With each project I do, I always challenge myself to do something different than what I did before. And this phase one of this project was more of me trying to write songs that were, um, from a compositional standpoint, the songs in the MySpace, Ray of Light is definitely touching into that. You'd have to delve deeper into some of the other songs in phase one. There's about 11 songs, but from a compositional standpoint, it was trying to be pretty technical and complicated, but still offer um, some pop qualities that made it pleasing to the ear, so that the listener found some familiar sounds, and it didn't just sound like a bunch of weirdness. Because I really like weird music, but at the same time, I understand that that's not the most popular thing, because if people can't grasp onto it, if it just sounds weird to them, they'll never give it a chance. So I wanted to write a group of strange songs with some more pop sounding songs kind of sprinkled in there, and in every one of my kind of stranger songs, you still have some pop qualities in it. That's all I'll say about that. But and then phase two, um, and phase three are going to be kind of different things, and kind of what I'm going for and what I've written and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going on right now. And my goal is to have phase one and two done by May, and then phase three I'll finish this summer, and just start it all over again. Give myself a new themes to write. Find some good music to listen to, pull from. Get inspired again, and start writing. So
Yeah. What is the story behind your song, Butterflies, which happen to be one of my favorites of yours, and
Butterfly. Okay.
Best Friend?
Best friend. Okay. Um, First with Butterflies. I wrote Butterflies is actually one of the first songs I ever wrote. I actually wrote it when I was, I'm 23 now. I wrote it 6 years ago when I was 17, and I was still in high school. I hate to say that just because high school it's like I don't want to talk about high school, but that song was just basically about um, kind of being, I think school for an adolescent is kind of can be a lonely place at times, and just that song is about and it can even relate that to anything, but just being in a crowd of people and feeling like a number, feeling like just just feeling alone, and kind of sometimes in social situations you get kind of like nervous or butterflies. That's just basically what the song's about. Just talking about, there's so much more to me if I could just get out of my shell type thing. So that's really what that song's about. It's just kind of just learning how to be social, I guess. Um, uh, best friend. I mean, it's really just a love song. It's about the excitement and adrenaline you get when you're first in love, and you can't get away from that person, and you have all these daydreams, and you're already starting to plan the rest of your existence based around this one person in a matter of a few months. And it's just about the exciting part of love, and just basically what a little rant about that. So.
Yeah, Butterflies would have to be probably one of my favorites.
Butterflies, yeah, I get that a lot. People like Butterflies is it's just a different song.
It is. It's something that you wouldn't expect to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, and the stuff that I have on, I think as especially as you get to know my music more, I think you will expect that, because that's kind of I like I like subtlety in my writing. I don't like to be just like Best Friend. It's obvious. I don't like to be obvious.
Well, from what I've heard, I wouldn't have expected it.
Yeah. So.
Let's see. Are you comfortable where you are in life right now musically?
As a musician, yeah, I'm more comfortable now than I if you would have asked me that question a couple years ago, I'd have been like, I'm really close, but still got a lot to learn, and it, you know, and I still have, I still want to grow as a musician, but I feel like I am who I am now. Like I found the sound, I found my sound. I don't feel like, when I write a song, I'm not trying to sound like anybody else. I'm not, I know who I sound like. I know what I want to sound like, and I have my own opinions about that. I'm not, even when I say I have influences, I'm sure I do, just because of listening to so much music over the years. But it's kind of funny at this point. I don't really feel like I have an influence anymore. I'm just kind of writing music. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff anymore. And so I feel more at peace with what I'm writing as well, just because, I used to get so, I don't know what the word is, just aggravated when people would say, oh, you sound like this guy, or you sound like this guy, and it just kind of almost hurt my feelings. It's like, man, I don't want to sound like that guy. Whereas now it's like, I can kind of take that as just a compliment. They're just trying to give me a compliment, because I'm more secure with who I am as a musician, rather than, try and not sound like somebody else, if that makes any sense at all.
I used to be like you, though. Someone would say that, and I'd be like, well, I'm not trying to sound like them. And now it's kind of like, well, if they're well known.
I don't like that person, but thank you.
Yeah, and it's like if they're well known and they actually